All right, well, I just recorded for 3 minutes or something, 4 minutes, and it just disappeared, went off, now it's gone. Now I'm doing the whole thing over again, which is weird, and it was weird before, and now it's weird again. Anyway, hey, how you guys doing? Welcome. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're using your time and filling your time wisely and well. Making the most of bad situation for everybody. Hopefully you're washing your hands a lot and doing all those things that you're supposed to be doing or not doing while this is taking place. I'm going to try to, over the next who knows how long, try to make this an interesting way for us to interact. Today I'm going to record it and put it up on the channel. Tomorrow I'm going to try to go live. I don't know, maybe a week from now we'll be doing something completely different. I don't know what the future brings. I don't know if or when we're going back to school. Somebody said that there's a news conference at 11 o'clock today. I don't know what the governor's going to say. Personally, they closed schools in Virginia for the rest of the year. Colleges aren't going back. I don't know what the future holds. I imagine that we'll be doing this for a long time. I feel bad for you guys, seniors. I think you're getting a raw deal, but I think that's the way life goes. Is bad things happen, and you got to deal with them. And if there's no prom, maybe you can have a virtual prom. If there's no graduation, maybe we'll do it online. And if we don't get to do all the things or have all the fun that we would have had, life goes on. And in a couple of months, hopefully this will be a something that we look back on, and the future is bright. I don't know exactly what it is that you remember about Hamlet, whether you remember anything. I don't know if you come into this wanting to cover more or not. I'm just going to go on like I would do on a regular school day, and and we'll take it from there. This is my house, part of my house. I know a couple of you have been bothering me to see my house, so here it is, or a little corner of it. And up on the screen right there, you can see Hamlet. I went on yesterday and this morning, and bought the Kenneth Branagh version of it. It's on Xfinity On Demand. It was $12 to buy, and I think it's $4 to rent if you want to rent it, and watch it. Maybe all at once when we're done with this. After we talk about it, maybe never. Maybe you want to buy it and add it to your collection of favorite movies. I don't know what you want to do. At this point in time, I'd probably be yelling at one of you to put your phone away, or wake up, or whatever. But I can't really do that now. That's too bad. I would probably try to fry a couple of you at this point in time, or make fun of you for something, or harass you. I can't really do that either. So I'm just going to move on. All right, so if you remember last time we were talking about Hamlet, we left off just before this part where the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern had told Hamlet that the players had arrived, and Hamlet was really excited. Hamlet really likes the players. Basically, they're a traveling group of actors, and in this film version, it's actors and actresses and children. Even though back in Shakespeare's day, it would just be actors. There'd be no women. As women were not allowed to be on the stage at that point in time, acting. So Hamlet is really excited to see them. He loves the players, and really, from my perspective, it's Shakespeare's voice coming through here saying, "Hey, look at what actors and actresses bring, and the theater brings to our lives. It's a diversion. It's art." So Shakespeare's using Hamlet and the arrival of these players to kind of pat himself on the back and saying, we, these actors, these playwrights, are an important part of society, and we played a valuable role. So he does it kind of slickly, in my opinion, through Hamlet's voice. All right, so basically what Hamlet is doing here is right after he sees them, he picks out the first player, and you can see it right there on Hamlet's left. Now you can't. And that guy is the first player. That's also he's a famous, or was a famous American actor. His name is Charlton Heston. He died a while back. He was in a lot of classic American movies. Anyway, so he's talking to the player here, and he's saying, I remember the speech that you gave me or told once, and it was about Aeneas's tale to Dido, and it was about the murder of this guy named Priam. And Priam, I'm pretty sure I'm right here. I'm going on record saying it right. Was the king of Troy, and Priam was responsible for the death of Pyrrhus's father. So Pyrrhus invades Troy. You know the story of Troy, probably. Invades Troy looking for revenge. So as he says, he wants him to hear this speech again. He wants the player, to play this speech again and tell this tale. So let's look at it, and I'll stop a lot and talk about it probably.
Affectation, but called it an honest method, as wholesome, as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech that I chiefly loved, 'twas Aeneas' tale to Dido.
Aeneas.
And so about it, especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter, if it live in your memory. I begin at this line, let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast, it is not so?
It begins with Pyrrhus.
The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose did the night resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, and now this red and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot now is he total clues, horribly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted with the parching streets that lend a tyrannous and a damned light to their lord's murder, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersighted with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks.
So if you didn't think before now that Hamlet liked to act, well, look at what he does, right? So Hamlet, we know he's going to act crazy, and he says, don't tell anybody how you see me, behave from now on. But here he is being an actor, right? I mean, really reciting those lines, showing off a little bit, overly dramatic, just like Hamlet kind of is wont to do. So he tells the first part how Pyrrhus crawls out of the Trojan horse inside Troy and goes on a killing spree through the town, covered in ghouls, he says, like guts, right, from killing all these people in his way, and he's looking for Priam. He wants to do what? He wants to kill Priam to get what? The idea is revenge, and if you think about it, it ties into everything that's going on in the play so far, the revenge for the death of fathers. You've got Hamlet wants revenge for the death of his father. You've got Fortinbras wants revenge for the death of his father. Who am I forgetting? There was another revenge. Well, we're not there yet. But so this is just another example.
So proceed you.
Oh, God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking two shorted Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal match as Priam drives, in rage strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls.
So that's the old guy, that's old Priam.
Feel his blow with flaming top, stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. Below his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So, as a painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing but.
So right there, kind of interesting, only because it's relevant to the whole play that we're watching as a whole, is that Pyrrhus gets to Priam. Pyrrhus, looking for revenge, gets to Priam, right? Comes over his head with his sword, ready to, chop his head off, and does what? He pauses. So why does he pause? Why doesn't he just kill him right away and get his revenge? Well, I don't know. We'll have to think about it. Hamlet hasn't gotten his revenge yet. Pyrrhus doesn't get his revenge right away. Maybe he's got a conscience. Maybe he just doesn't want to kill somebody right away.
As we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So after Pyrrhus' pause, a roused vengeance sets him new awork, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars his armor forged for proof he turned. With less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam.
He kills him, right? He pauses, he waits,
Fortune.
and then he kills him. He gets his revenge.
Gods in general sinner, take away our power, break all the spokes and fellies from a wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven, as low as to the fiends.
This is too long.
It shall to the barbers with your beard. Prithee say on. He's for a jig, or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on.
So Polonius there, who we don't like, for lots of reasons thus far, is like, he says, this is taking too long. And Hamlet's like, shut up. Right? He's like, this guy, keep going. This guy doesn't like anything unless there's a dance, somebody's dancing on stage, or they're telling like a dirty joke. He's too shallow. He doesn't understand. So he kind of just, makes fun of Polonius right in front of his face. Polonius, look at him. We don't like him.
Come to Hecuba.
But who had seen them?
Hecuba is Priam, the guy who just got killed. That's his wife.
Moblid Queen.
Moblid Queen.
That's good. Moblid Queen is good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with missing room. A clout upon that head where lit the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and o'er timid loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, against fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport, mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have met.
So she sees Pyrrhus, the young guy, coming in, killing Priam, her husband, and her reaction is, not real attractive, but, she's really, really upset, right? The player basically says that this would shatter the earth, right? She's, anybody, everybody, would be moved by the reaction that she has to seeing the death of her husband.
And milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look where he's not turned his colour and has tears in his eyes. Really no more.
So even the actor, thinking about what Hecuba saw and how she must feel in the death of her husband, right? Even the actor starts to tear up a little bit, and Polonius is like, oh, this is gross, right? Come on, this is way too much. This is overacting. But maybe it's just real emotion about how, the actor feels about the lines that he's saying, or, it's real emotion about seeing, a loved one die.
Tis well, sir. I'll have thee speak out the rest of this soon. Good my lord, but you see the players well bestowed. You hear, let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's bodkin, man, much better! Use every man after his desert, and who shall scape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Once again, Polonius getting put in his place. You gotta like seeing that. Hamlet says, take good care of these actors as you take them away. And Polonius says, I'll treat them the way they deserve to be treated. And Hamlet's like, no, you treat them better than they deserve to be treated, right? If we treated everybody the way they deserve to be treated, everybody would get a beating, right? Nobody deserves to be treated, nobody should be treated the way they deserve to be. Treat them better. It's a reflection on who you are. So Hamlet's maybe telling us a little bit about, his attitudes towards, people or humanity or whatever. But he also just totally scolds Polonius again.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow.
All right, so Hamlet says, there's going to be a play tomorrow. I want you to put on a play. And now he's going to conspire with the with the player, first player, and give him some directions.
Does that hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzaga?
Oh, I'm a lord.
We'll have tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert it, could you not?
I am a lord.
Very well, follow that lord, and look you, mock him not. My good friends,
So Hamlet tells the player, he says, I'm going to want you to put on a play called The Murder of Gonzaga tomorrow night, and I'm going to write down 12 to 16 lines of my own dialogue that I want you to include in the play. There you go.
leave you till night. You are welcome to us, my lord. I so good by No, I am allowed. Oh.
All right, so Hamlet, not his public persona anymore. Now he's going to give a speech. If this was on stage, he would just be out there on his own. This is going to be a soliloquy, right? It's, oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. So he's basically, being, looking at himself and saying, well, what kind of person am I? I haven't been able to do anything. I have not made the moves I said I was going to move yet, and I've got plenty of reason to do it.
What a rogue and peasant slave am I? Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit